Where did we come from? Where will we go? What happened in the beginning of the universe and what will happen in the end? How does the world work? And why is it all so complicated? If these are the questions that you want to answer, theoretical physics is meant for you. In this video, we'll talk about what it exactly means to have a job in physics and what you can do to get into the best universities for this subject. Welcome to Scienteens, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. What exactly is theoretical physics? Theoretical physics refers to that branch of physics that answers fundamental questions about how the universe works. These physicists aim to understand all sorts of phenomena about our world using observational data and mathematical models, and then trying to generalize these patterns or explanations. This is a science that's all about building on top of the work that generations of physicists before you have already done. How different is it from applicational physics then? Well, research in theoretical physics is done purely to understand new concepts, not to create new things or invent new technology. Of course, a lot of time theoretical physics does lead to inventions and applications many years later, but you can say the initial intention is just to satisfy the scientist's curiosity. Theoretical physics is also a lot more dependent on abstractions and mathematical models than experimental physics, which relies a lot on laboratory tools and techniques. Think of it this way: theorists come up with new ideas, whereas experimentalists use those ideas to create stuff we can actually see in the real world. The typical career path for a theoretical physicist looks something like this. First, you identify that you have an interest in physics and pick up subjects like maths, physics, and chemistry in high school. After 4 years of high school comes the BSc or Bachelor's of Science degree. This is a 3 to 4 year undergraduate program that you could pursue in a university of your choice, perhaps picking up a course in physics to see if this is really what you enjoy doing. While this is the minimum qualification you require for a career in physics, it's recommended that you follow this up with an MSc or Masters of Science program to really set you apart from the crowd. A postgraduate degree would put you in a great place to start off your career. But there's more. If you're a person that loves learning and has a passion for a super specific topic in physics, you could always do a PhD at any point in your life. This is independent research that could take you upwards of 3 years. Not only does it separate you from the crowd, you also get to add a doctor in front of your name. Now, most universities offer BSc Physics as a degree for undergraduate students. This is separate from the engineering degrees, which may not be the best if you want to do theoretical physics. However, you'll be able to choose a much more specific field in your postgraduate degree. Though this selection does not determine the path of your career, it's recommended that you pick something you know you'll really enjoy and be able to do for the rest of your life. Here are a few examples of degrees that you could get into. What's the best university to study physics? Well, in India, some of the most respected institutes are. Some of the most famous science institutes in other countries are. Of course, these ones can be a lot more competitive and difficult to get into. What happens after university though? Well, most jobs in theoretical physics typically take you towards academia or research. Perhaps in a university where you could do some teaching as well, or in an independent research lab or center. If after the degree you decide to do something else, there are thousands of jobs available for you. Industries like tech, commerce, engineering, and accounting really value graduates in physics because of the skills these courses help you develop, such as your aptitude in maths, ability to do problem solving, analytical thinking, and command over technology. In India, a starting level physicist earns around 10 lakhs annually. The average salary is 14 lakhs, and this could increase to around 18 lakhs by the time you're a senior level physicist. In the US, the annual salary ranges from 60,000 to 90,000 USD, depending on where you are in your career. The overall employment for physicists is estimated to grow by 8% in the next 10 years, which is slightly faster than the average for all occupations. This brings us to the most important question. Is physics really meant for you? And can you actually succeed in it? Let's have an expert answer this question. We'll be speaking to Dr. James Beecham, a particle physicist at CERN who's worked with some of the most interesting topics in modern physics, such as the discovery of the Higgs boson particle. Let's hear it from Dr. Beecham himself.
Like, I am not a genius. The people that work at CERN are not geniuses. We are regular people who had the right people in our lives at the right time to encourage us to study this kind of stuff in detail. And it also requires time, and it requires persistence. But at the end of the day, anybody can do this. I firmly believe that. And it does really not, it has nothing to do with whether you think you're naturally smart, or especially it has nothing to do if someone told you at some point that no, you're not very good at math, or no, you'll never be good at. That's crazy. Don't listen to that person. They're wrong. But the one thing that's really hard to disrupt in this case is if you are a kind of person who is really interested in this stuff, but you have a learning style that is not the same one that is facilitated or targeted by schooling, by major schooling methods. If you have a different learning style, you will then get the message, because you're not learning well this way, you'll get the message is like, oh, I'm not good at this kind of a thing, which is unfortunate because it's not true. Sometimes it can be a challenge to, for example, find a teacher or a mentor or somebody who can be patient enough to understand what your learning style is and make sure that the teaching is tailored to that instead. It has to do really with your interest, your obsession, your enthusiasm, and your ability to persist and really dive into this stuff in detail. And also to be patient with yourself, right? A lot of us, we get kind of impatient where if we don't, some of us were taught, we're like, oh, you're naturally a smart kid. And wow, great. And then you get to something that's really hard, and you're like, oh, you become impatient with it. It's like you look at it once and it doesn't immediately make sense. You think, oh, this isn't one for me. It's like, no, hold on, stop, be patient, think about it, go in detail, let it sit, be calm, and let it think, let kind of go through your head, and eventually you give yourself space in your mind to be able to understand what's going on. Because everybody, especially if you're interested in science and making the world a better place and science for the public good, you're absolutely wonderful, and you're worthy, and your desires are valid, your thoughts are valid, your interests are valid, and you're worthy, and you do really cool things. And don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't ever let anyone make you feel small for your enthusiasms about science and mathematics, but from a kind of pure perspective, right? That if you're interested in doing this kind of a thing, don't let those people set the tone of your life. Does that make sense? Don't let somebody else set I think it's best said as be the main character in your life. Don't be don't be like a secondary player to other people telling you how to do things.
I hope this video has given you a better understanding of what physics means and how you can do your best and make sure that your career in this subject is as successful as it can be. If you've got any more questions, be sure to drop a comment and check out the rest of the interview that we showed in the video. The links are in the comments below. As always, this is Scienteens, where we're going to help you make the best possible academic and career decisions in the sciences. I do this as a fellow student, so your support through a like and subscription will give me and everyone working on this channel a lot of encouragement.